Before today's video starts, we just want to take a minute to talk about our amazing sponsor, The Ridge. A Ridge wallet makes for an awesome Father's Day gift. A wallet is something that people use daily, and the Ridge's wallets are way better than those old leather wallets that most people use. Ridge wallets have a sleek, minimalist design, so you only carry the things you need. Ridge wallets not only look cool, but they are also incredibly durable. In fact, they come with a lifetime warranty. So you could be buying someone special the last wallet they'll ever use. Ridge wallets are also safe because they are equipped with RFID blocking. Right now, the Ridge is offering criminally listed viewers 10% off with free worldwide shipping and returns. Just go to ridge.com/listed, that's ridge.com/listed, and use the promo code listed at the checkout. Get that perfect Father's Day gift and help support criminally listed by checking out ridge.com/listed. Number 3. Jessica Ann Carr. Bungletown, Pennsylvania is an unincorporated area that has a population of fewer than 10,000 people. On March 6, 1989, it was a snowy day in the area. As a result, the area's elementary school was closed for the day. That morning, several children had gathered at the home of the Raddies to play Nintendo. Richard and Trudy Raddy had 6 children of their own. The Raddy children and other kids from the neighborhood spent most of the morning playing a game called Spy Hunter. One girl who was there was 7-year-old Jessica Ann Carr. Jessica was bragging to the other children that she was great at Spy Hunter because she had gotten the game for Christmas. One person who didn't like her bragging was 9-year-old Cameron Coker. Cameron supposedly loved Spy Hunter, but he did not have the game himself. Cameron was jealous, and he was sure he was better at the game than Jessica. After lunch, Richard Raddy, the patriarch of the family, told the children gathered at his home that they couldn't play video games any longer. He was mad that some of the kids left out dirty dishes. Cameron was upset because he said he didn't leave any dishes out, and he thought it was unfair that he was being punished. After the video games were turned off, several of the children went outside to ride snowmobiles. Cameron's parents didn't want him riding a snowmobile, so he went home. At around 1 p.m., 13-year-old Shannon Raddy was driving a snowmobile with 7-year-old Jessica Ann Carr on the seat behind her. They were in a field next to the Raddy home. Suddenly, a gunshot was heard over the sound of the snowmobiles. The children quickly realized that Jessica had been shot in the back. Jessica was brought into the Raddy home. The Raddies feared that there might be a sniper in the area. They called Cameron and told him to come over because they didn't want him to be alone. Cameron came over and he saw Jessica bleeding to death on the floor. Other children in the house were frantic because they thought there was a sniper on the loose, and Jessica, who was only in the 1st grade, was dying in front of their eyes. Cameron said, "Don't think about it, and you won't be sad." He then sat down and started playing the Nintendo. Jessica was rushed to the hospital. It turned out that the bullet had pierced her spine and her right lung. Sadly, 7-year-old Jessica Ann Carr died on the operating table. That evening, Cameron's parents called the police. They had noticed an unusual circle around one of his eyes. The police went to their home and learned that Cameron's father had a collection of rifles. On the scope of one of the rifles, they found blood. They also found blood on a windowsill in his home that faced the field. 9-year-old Cameron was questioned by the police, and he gave several different stories. but then he finally admitted to killing Jennifer. He said that after the video games were turned off, he went home, got the keys to the gun cabinet, and took out one of the rifles. He opened a window, removed the screen, and aimed his gun. He fired one shot from the window, which was about 100 yards from Jessica, who was on the back of the snowmobile. The recoil from the rifle smashed the scope into his head, causing the gash. After firing the fatal shot, Cameron wiped his fingerprints off the rifle, he put it back into the case, and then he hid the gun shell. When Cameron was being interviewed by the police, he gave them the gun shell. 2 days after the shooting, Cameron was charged with murder. After Cameron was arrested, 2 different portraits of the boy emerged. Some people pointed out that he was an honor student, a leader in his Bible group, and a Boy Scout. Other people, like his teacher, said he was a loner who rarely showed emotion. They said that his nickname was Lil Rambo. Cameron's parents put up their house to pay for his bail. While Cameron was out on bail, he attended school in a different district under an alias. In June 1989, a judge ruled that, even though Cameron was 9 years and 10 months old at the time of the murder, that he should be tried as an adult. In Pennsylvania, they had the death penalty. However, the district attorney said that they would not seek the death penalty in this case. But Cameron was still looking at a possible life sentence. Had Cameron gone to trial, he would have been the youngest person in the 20th century to be tried as an adult for murder in America. However, since that was so controversial, there were many reviews and appeals. The case was not resolved until over 3 years later, in September 1992. With permission from Jessica's parents, Cameron pleaded guilty to involuntary manslaughter as a juvenile. As a result, he was given no jail time. Instead, he was given probation until the age of 21, and he would not have a permanent criminal record. Jessica's mother regretted agreeing to the plea deal. She later said that Cameron should have gone to prison for the rest of his life. At the time of this video, Cameron Coker is 40 years old. Since his sentencing, he has stayed out of the headlines. His current whereabouts are unknown. Number 2. Dylan Lee Edmondson. Alexandra Tobias was born in August 1988 in Jacksonville, Florida. From a young age, Tobias had a troubled home life. Her earliest memory was her mother throwing a plate at her father. Her parents got divorced when she was 5 years old. Tobias's mother suffered from mental illness. Several times she was hospitalized after she attempted suicide. In 2004, Alexandra Tobias was 16 years old. On St. Patrick's Day that year, she returned home from school and she found her mother dead. Her mother had died from heart disease. After graduating from high school, Tobias met E.J. Edmondson and they started dating. They eventually moved in together. Tobias had planned on going to college, but in early 2009, she found out she was pregnant. In October 2009, when Alexandra Tobias was 21, she gave birth to a son, Dylan Lee Edmondson. By all accounts, Tobias adored her son, and she loved being around him. Her relationship with Dylan's father, EJ, was somewhat rocky. In late December, EJ and Tobias got into a fight that resulted in the police being called and EJ being arrested. 3 weeks later, on January 19, 2010, Tobias was home alone with 3-month-old Dylan. She called EJ and told him that Dylan wasn't breathing. She then hung up and called 911. The paramedics arrived and they found Dylan unconscious. He was rushed to the hospital where doctors worked on him. But sadly, the next morning, 3-month-old Dylan was pronounced dead. He had suffered bruising on the skull and bleeding on the brain. Also, one of his legs was broken. 21-year-old Alexandra Tobias was interviewed by the police. She initially said that Dylan had been knocked off the couch by the dog. But after she was pressed by the police, she broke down and confessed. She said that she had been on the computer playing Farmville on Facebook. Farmville is an agricultural simulation social network game that was released in 2009. As she was playing the game, 3-month-old Dylan started crying. At first, Tobias ignored him and she continued to play her game. But Dylan continued to cry. Tobias said that she got frustrated that Dylan was interrupting her game. So she picked him up and started shaking him. She even hit his head against the computer monitor. She then put Dylan down on the couch. She smoked a cigarette and tried to calm herself down. She thought that the dog knocked Dylan on the floor because he started crying again. So she picked up her son and shook him some more. This time, Tobias stopped crying permanently. He stopped breathing as well. Alexandra Tobias was arrested and charged with murder. 9 months later, in October 2010, Tobias pleaded guilty to second-degree murder. In February 2011, she had her sentencing hearing. The judge was deeply upset by Tobias's actions and he let his feelings be known. He said, "He who is most defenseless among us was murdered by his own mummy. And why? Because he was crying during a game of Fishville or Farmville or whatever was going on during Facebooking time that day." Alexandra Tobias was then sentenced to the maximum 50 years in prison. Tobias is currently incarcerated at the Lowell Correctional Institution in Ocala, Florida. Number 1. Gretchen Crooks. In the spring of 2012, 13-year-old Noah Crooks lived with his parents, Gretchen and William, in rural Osage, Iowa. On the night of March 24, 2012, there was an argument in the house. Noah had gotten bad grades in school, so his mother, Gretchen, took away the controllers to his Xbox so he couldn't play video games. Noah loved the game Call of Duty and he often played online. That evening, Noah's father, William, went to a work event in Mason City, Iowa. It was his boss's going away party. At around 7:30 p.m., William got a text message from Noah that reads, "Dad, this is Noah. I killed Mom accidentally. I regret it. Come home now, please." William assumed it was a joke, so he replied, "Okay, just throw her in the grove. We'll take care of her later." About 20 minutes later, a sheriff's deputy called William and told him to come home. After Noah sent the text message to his father, he called 911. He told the dispatcher he had murdered his 37-year-old mother, Gretchen. He said, "I'm not joking at all. She's dead. I'm scared. I killed my mom with my .22. The .22 he was referring to was the rifle that his mother had given him as a gift 2 years earlier. Noah told the dispatcher he had planned on killing his mother while she was cooking dinner. He said he didn't because he didn't feel right shooting his mother in the back. They ate dinner, and Noah was happy because his mother had even made him homemade donuts. After dinner, his mother was sitting on the couch. Noah said he picked up his .22 caliber rifle and he unloaded it on her, shooting her 22 times. Noah talked to the 911 dispatcher for about 10 minutes. During the call, he confessed 20 times to shooting his mother. Noah said he felt like he was crazy, but he knew he wasn't. Noah also told the 911 dispatcher that he had no more bullets, so the first responders didn't have to worry about being shot. Noah also said, "I tried to rape her. I tried to rape her, but I couldn't do it. I tried to rape my own mom. Who tries to rape their own mom? My life is down the drain now." A paramedic arrived at the Crooks' home and Noah let him inside. The paramedic found 37-year-old Gretchen Crooks dead on the couch. She was naked from the waist down. She had been shot 22 times, twice in the head, 4 times in the neck, and 15 times in the chest. Noah sat outside, and when the police arrived, they arrested him. Noah Crooks went to trial in the spring of 2016. Although he was 13 at the time of the shooting, he was tried as an adult. Noah claimed he didn't understand the consequences of what he did. He thought, at worst, he would be grounded. Noah was found guilty of second-degree murder and he was sentenced to 50 years of prison. Noah's lawyer appealed the sentence, but the sentence was ultimately upheld. Noah Crooks is currently incarcerated at the Fort Dodge Correctional Facility in Fort Dodge, Iowa. The tentative date for his earliest release is December 2034. He'll be 36 years old. Thank you so much for watching today's video. We hope you found it interesting. If you're looking for some new videos to watch, why not check out my new channel, Chapter Dark, and see if you can solve the mysteries in the videos. If you like riddles, puzzles, or escape rooms, Chapter Dark will be right up your alley. A link to Chapter Dark should appear on the screen momentarily, and you can also find a link in the description box below this video. If you enjoyed the video you just watched, we'd really appreciate it if you gave us a thumbs up. Please also check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Roku. The links are in the description box. But that's all for today. Thanks again for watching, and please stay safe.